kicking. And the left and on the right. Forwards. Yeah, so we've got... Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. A little bit different today. We've managed to find somewhere nice and dry because we're going to be installing the windows. So obviously it's the winter time now, and it's wet.
We've kind of missed the opportunity really to, with the good weather, to be able to do it outside. So we've waited a few weekends, haven't we, to try and get some opportunity to do it. And just now, frost and snow is just...
The worst thing if you're doing it on your drive, it starts to rain once you've jigsawed the holes out. But the other thing is, or snow. But firstly, before we get all of the stuff laid out, and we'll show you that, we're going to use the air blower because we just need to dry the panels first. Okay, just out of interest, if you're interested, this is just a standard leaf blower bought off Amazon years ago. We're just using it to use the van. It ain't something that you need to be using for building your van, unless you do it in the same circumstances as us. But this one has been adapted. If you ever watched the TV show MacGyver, I think it's been re-released. It's had a bit of a MacGyver part on the end. If you come in quite close to the end, it's now got blade technology on the end there. So that gives, like, instead of having like a round like jet of air, if you like, it's got a small thin blade, similar to those popular hand dryers that you find in public toilets. It works great. So we use it for drying our car when we or van. Gets most of the water off without having to, use a towel. But we use a towel on this one just to dry it a bit quicker. It'll carry on drying while we set up for the windows and get the tools out. So we'll get the tools out that we're going to be using today. We'll get the windows and show you those, and we'll make a start on that. Okay, so I've dried the side of the van. Used the leaf blower and just gone over with microfiber at the end. So I've gone past, not dried the whole of the van, it's absolutely sopping wet. But what I've done is just dried some of the panel next to it because we'll be putting masking tape on there and some cardboard. So we're going to be putting some cardboard on the outside of the van because metal swarf is hot and it can embed itself into your paintwork, and once it's in there, you can get it out, but it tends to go rusty and embed. But then the problem is you've got the damage to your paintwork then that's there forever. So I'm going to go and do the other side. Okay, so before we start we're just going to make sure we've got all the tools that we need because we are it's about a mile away from home, but obviously you can see I've got to pack everything back in the van. Try it all off and start again, essentially. So, there's a couple of different methods for fitting the windows. You can use a reciprocating saw from the inside to cut the window out. We haven't got a reciprocating saw, but we have got a jigsaw, so we're going to be using the jigsaw method, which is where you drill a series of holes from the inside, and then you jigsaw from the outside. So, just looking at the tools that we've got, so we need a drill to be drilling a series of holes. And also we need to drill a hole for the get the jigsaw blade in. So over here I've got a selection of drills. I think 10mm should clear the jigsaw. I've got plenty of things there. You've got plan B, plan C, up to about plan F there probably. You've got everything there. Once we've got a series of holes dotted around the area of where the wind is going, we need to mark up from the outside joint. It's like dot to dot if you've ever done that. So we'll be using masking tape and we'll be using our straight edge. So I've got this straight edge here and I've got this aluminium section that we can use to make a straight line as well. Obviously where we're going around corners we can just free on that. Got some tape, got some masking tape. We've also got some cardboard. When you're cutting metal, the metal that comes out, we call it swarf in the UK, it's hot and it will embed itself in its paint. So we'll be shuttering this area off and masking that on, so any hot metal will not stick to the paintwork. It'll hit the cardboard and go off the floor. We've got our jigsaw, we've got 2 batteries, both charged up, and we've got blades. We've got a pack of blades. Worst thing that happens is we break a blade. and you haven't got to back up. You can make another trip out. Once the hole has been cut, you're going to file the edges. Any rough, sharp edges, we'll just file them off. We've got our red oxide primer then that will go around, and then we'll obviously just wait for that to dry, and we'll probably make a start on the other side at that point. I'll just show you what I've got over here. So this is the fixing kit. We'll show you the windows in a little bit. So we've got our fixing kit here that came with the windows that we sorted. So we've got 2 tubes of the glazing sealer, the automatic glazing sealer, one side for one side for the other, so there's plenty of that. There's some fitting instructions how to do it. Probably read that at some point, maybe. Might be good. Pair of gloves, and we've got some activator of the glass adhesive as well. 2 packs of that, one for each side. We've got our primer. We've got 2 nozzles for the guns, and we've got 2 applicators for the primer. What we will do as well before we use the glass wipe, we'll also either have some isopropyl alcohol, which is 99.9%. It's not easy to get hold of, but it's 99.9%. We've got our gun as well. Obviously we need a gun to use to put our bead sealant around. Nice little bead. And we've got some blue roll just for cleaning up any mess. So what we're going to do next is we're going to put the tools to one side, and we're going to get the windows out. Now what we're going to do first, we've already checked the windows that they're good. What I would say to you is when you order windows, before you cut the holes out, I know you've ordered, and when you've ordered the windows, you'll order whether it's for a VW Transporter, whether it's for a Ford Custom, whether it's for a Vauxhall Bavaro. You would have ordered that item. But what I would say is check the boxes. They could have sent you the wrong item, couldn't they, by mistake. So just make sure that before you cut any holes. What we will do, before we do any drilling or anything, we'll actually offer the window up to the panel, and we'll probably put some marks, because as you can see, I think this window's going to come up to this side here, but on the other side there isn't a split there because it's one section going across. So we'll just mark where we think it's going to fall in this area here, isn't it? But we're going to offer it up and have a look at it. Okay, so we'll get the windows out and we'll bring you back in a second then. Okay, so we've got our first window. So our sliding door window is going to be a fixed window. In the kit that you get some, it's called U-channel. So when you cut the side of the van, you'll have this thickness of the metal, and you'll also have the internal frame, obviously the frame channel. And so you've got 2 thicknesses of metal. You'll see it when we come to install it, how you'll see that. But we're only cutting the one skin, the outside skin. The other side is, we're just going to use that as a guide for our holes. The channel is specific to each vehicle because it depends on the difference, the thickness of the 2 pieces of metal and the gap between. So that's our trim. We'll fit that before we bond the window on. It's nice and easy, just knock it on all the way around and then cut it to length. It's nice and easy. So what I've done, I've already checked that the window is the correct one for our van, and I've also measured it. So it's always good practice to just double check. So we've got 22 inches there on the widest side, 20 inches on that side, and then the length here, and this is where I'm going to go into metric, 120 centimetres. So I'm just going to transfer those measurements. So over here it's 22, so you can see between the folds of the metal we've got 22 inches. Over here we'll have 20 inches. Okay, 20 inches, 21 inches wouldn't fit, would it? And then 1.2 metres, 120 centimetres. So we know that will fit the window where we want it to go. So we've just covered up
the inside of the door, mostly because we've got the insulation there. We don't want iron filings in there.
Okay, so just brought you back into the van. So we've got these clips here which would hold the hardboard on there. So we're going to take those off. It'll be the first job. So that's nice and easy. So obviously the aperture on the inside is smaller than the outside. So if you can see the inner skin that goes on the inside of the van there, we're going to use that as a guide. So what I'm going to do is I've got a 2.5mm drill, and I'm going to drill one there, one there, one there, and essentially I'm going to make holes that's going to make the shape on the outside. So I've used a 2.5mm drill because if you use a bigger drill than that, when you come to put your blade in, you're going to have the holes are going to be bigger than your blade. So 2.5mm is quite a small one. As long as you keep your drill straight, you know that when you jigsaw from the opposite side, it will go across your lines, so the jigsaw blade will run flush to the edge of the inner skin. So you'll have two skins of metal the same, and obviously you can, if one's a little bit higher than the other, you can file it, but ultimately it's going to be covered up by your U-channel anyway. And obviously you can't see it from the outside, and from the inside, as long as it looks straight, the U-channel will cover up a lot of it, but obviously you want to make it as good as possible. So let's make a start then. So, as you can see, with the straight edges now, it's just a matter of drawing the line along there, and then these ones. And so you can either free out, try to look with a similar rate, you know, same radius, or we can just freehand it really. Okay, so we've masked the van up ready, so we use this nice blue that contrasts quite nicely. Some people use the edge of the tape as a guide. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use a pen line, because I want to be able to draw these lines together and be quite accurate. So I'm going to be using, sometimes when you use the edge, when it's, especially if it comes loose or becomes a bit frayed, you kind of lose the edge, don't you? So I'm going to be using a pen line. On the jigsaw, I've seen a lot of people take the blade, the bottom off. I'm not going to do. I'm just going to leave the base on there because it's just the way I've always used the jigsaw.
I think it helps to keep it straight. You've also, obviously, we've stopped the paintwork, so
yeah,
I don't think there's any reason to take it off.
It's very. I mean, this is really thin metal. We've used cut a lot thicker metal than that with the jigsaw over the years. So yeah, it's what you're used to. You know, there's no. As long as you cut the hole and it's fairly accurate. As I say, it's not worth worrying about. Everyone's got their own ways of doing it, and as long as there's a hole where once there was metal, that's the job done, isn't it? Just do the way that you've had experience doing in the past, is what I'm saying. And so other people use a reciprocating saw from the inside. I haven't got one. There's no need to buy one to do the job because I've got a jigsaw. I just think that I think there's a little bit more experience with a reciprocating saw to keep it kind of still. And I think you have to end up having to cut the blade. The blades are a little bit wider on depth wise. So when you come round the corner, it's a little bit more difficult. I think they end up having to thin the blades out. But with the jigsaw, you haven't got that problem. So I'm just going to mark it out now then, and we'll start off. What I'm thinking of doing is, there's some metal strengthening in the middle. So I want to get through that on both of them. Obviously, at some point this is going to drop and fall into the van. So what I'm intending to do is to leave a bit of metal, maybe on the top so it's hanging down rather than trying to bend into the van. Off centre from the middle. So what we can do at that point is go around on the inside, put some gaffer tape or duct tape on the inside so it doesn't fall, it just holds it there. So what I'm going to do now is just going to get mark it all out. I'm going to put a couple of clearance holes for my jigsaw blade, about 10mm, probably close to the edges here. I'm going to cut the straight edges first and then cut the curves, as I say, just leave a little bit of metal somewhere at the top end here just to support it until we get the tape on the inside. We're all masked up on the inside, so any swarf is going to fall onto the cardboard or the masking, so no problem with that. That swarf's quite hot. When you drill it's not so bad, but when you jigsaw you do get a lot of swarf and you don't want to embed that in your paint. So anyway, we're prepared, so we're going to make a start then. We're looking for some blend consistency. I think that's 4 hours, I think.
To fulfill, caught in the frenzy, we dance in the swing. In the pursuit of more, we'll find our way.
Okay, so just open this hole out here, and it's just going to be wide enough to get. You can go bigger if you want. It's just going to be big enough to get your blade in when you to start your jigsaw off. I've put 4 in. You don't need to put that many in. You just ideally you can do it with 1, or just 1 in each corner. Or you could put as many as you want. I've just decided to put a few extras in because my arms might get tired and I might want to come from the other side at some point.
We crave the rush. In the whispers of temptation we hush. Bound by desire we'll never sway. In the realm of excess we'll stay. With that risk we take, in chances we make. In this path we'll stray, forever in the freeway. In the hunger of the night we'll soar, almost dreaming for something more.
My sticker removing skills are awesome. Come on. Say it.
Get you a
Might
badge.
be quite a lot of stuff. Have to bleep that out.
Yeah.
Like,
Anything to
my
do-
legs.
Anything to do with... to be honest, in the UK it's difficult because you can't just walk into a shop and buy it. You have to... It's an online thing.
A better angle with this now.
Yeah, I'm pleased with that. That looks
Mark
good.
cleaning, eh?
Huh? I'm always cleaning. Right. So that tape will stop it from sagging. It bit. It felt like it bit, didn't it? You know, when we pushed
Straight
it on.
away, yeah. Yeah.
So, obviously, using some proper window cleaner will make that even better. So, but for now,
Just put you higher so you can see it better.
just a bit on the. I don't know whether this sticky stuff. Yeah, that one tip that we found is, you know, the tube, the stuff in the tube, the black adhesive. It's
Tough.
incredibly tough to get out the tube. I've only got small hands.
Electric gun, I reckon.
An electric applicator gun, yeah, would probably do the trick.
It would, wouldn't it?
Or get somebody else to do it. Just like stop somebody with massive hands. So I find that quite...
So you can.
Hello.
You see, you can see him.
Hello out there. Okay, so as you can see, we're inside the van. And there's the opposite side of the window. You would have seen the other side earlier. So
so much about it.
when I was saying about applying the primer, if you can see, there's still a little bit of yeah.
Let's see if we can get.
So you can see, just so you can still see some. We didn't want to bring the primer too far into the on the outside, so because it looked ugly if you'd have had primer on this part here, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So when we do our carpeting, we'll carpet and we'll tuck it under that U channel there, and obviously the glazing is slightly curved, so where this is kind of sitting off the surface of the glass. When the glass goes to it, obviously that's restricts the glass going back anymore. But yeah, that's fantastic. So we've got
Really
one more
good.
to do.
We've got to do
looks
this
incredible.
one now.
Yeah.
Mark's put the U-channel on that one ready, so
Yeah. So that one's prepped.
come on, Popeye.
So it's a case of same again, isn't it? San Miguel. It's a case of San Miguel. Yes, it is.
Other beers are available.
They're all available. Yeah. So we'll get the other one prepped and yeah, brilliant. Do another one. Get that dry. Yeah. Do watch it a bit more. A bit. Right. Just a bit. Okay. Yeah. Okay then guys, so we've got both windows in now. So we're just the clock's
He
ticking
was going to do that then.
on the left and on the right. Forwards. Yeah. Yeah, so we've got them both in, so we're just gonna wait for it to cure. 20 hours later. We've never done that, have we? Yeah, so the plan is gonna have some dinner because I'm starving.
Had nothing to eat all day.
I've had hot chocolate, a cup of coffee, 2 cans of pop. Will that sustain a gentleman in his
Was you going to say in your prime?
in my prime? No, I was going to say in my formative years. But yeah, so yeah, we got those in. It does actually transform the van.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah, the light that's coming in is brilliant, and with our skylight as well, it's going to look really nice on a summer's night or a summer's day. It's going to be beautiful. In the winter, it's going to be looking at the rain. Ain't it? Really at the window, looking at the rain. Oh, it's a different type of rain today. What's that rain that wets you? So I'm going to have something to eat. I'm going to do it partially. Well, I'm going to fit the extractor fan. I'll show you what type that is. I don't know if I mentioned it on the videos
You
before.
already have probably about 3 times.
Probably, yeah, it's slightly repetitive. And also we have got the gland to fit as well, ain't we? So I think after fitting that, that'll feel like a treat. And I think while we've got the sealant in our hands, or not in our hands as the case may be, we're going to clean. There's a couple of bolts in there that have been dripping at some point.
Oh my god!
And the lights have gone out.
Oh, should I help now?
Yeah, just leave it
No,
on.
because no, we can't. We can't.
Okay. So,
Well,
on that bombshell, the lights have gone out and there's no one at home.
no.
But
Bye.
we'll see you in a bit.